Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody who tunes in, you know what time it is. It's Wednesday. It's the Bold Prediction Sports Media Podcast and As Tradition. That's Mr. KC. I'm that dude with the beard, and we coming at you with this week's NFL picks. And what a wild week we had last week in football here. A couple of picks mainly going our way, a few that didn't. Mr. KC, what's going on with you, good brother?
Oh, another day in sunny paradise, living the dream. Yeah, it was kind of a funky little week last week. I mean, we hit on most of our picks, so we can't complain. We do have the elephant in the room of the Kansas City Chiefs finally losing. Everyone thinks it's supposed to be the end of the world or whatnot, but
Yeah.
you got to lose sometime.
And like y'all alluded to last week on the show, it's a seasonal thing. You can almost draw it up to the cue. So, as tradition, then Buffalo got their Super Bowl, and we're gonna go win the real one. As tradition.
Yeah, it's crazy to me because I started seeing, you see the annual let's hype up Josh Allen. You know,
Oh yeah,
shout out to our boy JMO.
what's going
He's
on?
stopping by.
Yo yo.
Back to you. And but yeah, it's just one of those things. You can't really. No one really cares about 17-0 in Kansas City. Like it's not what we're here for. It's not what we came into the season to do. And congratulations, you got your Super Bowl. It's the only thing sitting on Josh Allen's resume is those couple times he beat Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. Tell me what else he's accomplished. What else are we supposed to point to and say these are the accolades for Josh Allen?
There is nothing else, and there will never be anything else. He's Philip Rivers. Um, But this happens every time they beat Kansas City. They always like, oh my God, is Josh Allen the MVP? Is he the best quarterback in all of football? Is he really this and is he really that? And then what happens? We've seen the highs of the Bills, and as tradition, that roller coaster is getting ready to tip. They just plateaued. They just reached the summit, the highest they could go. So that thing's got to start to boom, come down. So we'll see as tradition who Josh Allen is by the end of the season.
Yeah, it's really just what it is, and he's been carried a lot by a garbage AFC East and a cupcake schedule. It's okay. He beat Andy Reid when you know Andy Reid is taking a playbook and not using nothing in it when he's playing a regular season game against a potential playoff opponent. Like this is what we see. Oh, he outperformed Patrick Mahomes. Okay, in the regular season game, he had a better game. Congratulations, Bill Mafia. Have your parade. What would you call it? That time we beat them, we won a regular season game. Tell me the
Yeah.
last couple of regular season games that we lost to you that we cared about losing. What happened next? What happens next? And you know what the answer is. That's all you
Right.
need to know. What happens next? Finish the story. How does the story get written versus the end of the story? That's all that is. You're just a step along the journey. Congratulations on losing a
The
17 to 0.
protagonist always has to face a little adversity before they can have that moment of growth on their way to completing the mission. It's all the same. It's a story as old as time, baby.
Yeah, but let's talk about some other games that we just magically both got right with ease from a mile away. Was that Colts over the Jets game? We told y'all he's trash. Look, that's all you see in the headlines right now. They're done. They gave up. Like they gave up 2 weeks ago. What are we talking
I
about?
told,
The Jets
I
folded the
told you.
towel.
No, I got you. No, you go ahead. You doing nothing but telling the truth.
Yeah, we seen the white flag. When you traded Mike Williams, I knew it was done. You got rid of any potential extra. Like you traded to get Devontae Adams. You've seen that didn't make a single bit of difference. And so you said, you know what? We'll start. We're start fixing this. And once you start trading away wide receivers, Look, you're done. You're done.
Yeah,
This is,
yeah.
I can't believe it took 2 weeks for the media and the Vegas sports books to look at this Jets team with a clear conclusion. Like, this was the easy money, easiest money we've been making.
They got lucky with
Underdogs.
that one win, and then they was able to fool the world again. But I told you week one that it was over. When Aaron Rodgers gave up in the game, he said he was done, and I knew it was over because Tyrod Taylor came down and scored for the offense immediately. That's what I'm saying. It's been over with. Aaron's been done. Like I don't even know what he's doing. He just like I said, he's just getting them checks so he can fund them trips out to the forest. Because there's no other reason for him to be wearing a uniform.
I'll take it, though. I'll take it. If you're going to give me a big fat check, write it. Sign me up.
Yeah, if you're
I'm
dumb enough
good.
to keep paying me, I'll take it for sure.
Yeah, it was just one of those. Can't believe this is happening again. Like that was such a like when they won, people were like, oh, the Colts beat them. I'm like, this is y'all acting surprised. Y'all
Right.
are acting surprised for some reason. And then we look another one that we hit on the Steelers over the Ravens. We need to talk
Oh
about
yeah.
that for a second. Like
Oh
we
yeah.
sat here and y'all saved me. Like I got to give my props to do with a beard here. He's the one that talked me into that pick. I almost went Baltimore.
Yeah, man, and big shout out to Pittsburgh to Mike Tomlin and them. Just affirming what I've been telling y'all the whole year that Pittsburgh owns the AFC North. They've leased it out the last few years, but let's not forget that they've been almost in the same kind of stranglehold over that division like New England had for a while. So
Yeah,
it seems like they're returning back to form, so to speak, especially Mike Tomlin as far as coaching. We can always count on him and count on him to put out a product that seemingly wants to win here. But at the end of the day, here, I still like big trust in the Ravens, but Pittsburgh's, like I said, it's the North. The North is theirs, man. And they just reaffirmed it.
yeah, and it's exactly what I said going into that game. This is the deciding factor of the AFC North, and look, that the amount of games left is running out quick, and the Steelers are just running into cupcakes. Let's get
Yeah.
into it. Let's get into this
And
week's
and their record
matchups.
is almost about
Thursday
what we
night.
picked it to be. So we'll see.
Well, you picked it to be.
Well, yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
better than what I thought it was going to be. I got to tip my hat when it's due. Like, yeah, they're going to say no one nailed this, and I'm gonna be like, do we need to check the tape? Because
yeah,
someone
we'll have
we,
to clip it.
as usual,
We got to
I have to
start
clip it.
clipping it.
This
We'll have to clip it.
the primetime bowl, the primetime Jeff Bezos BS game of the week.
Yes, sir.
Steelers versus Browns in Cleveland.
No matter where they at, Pittsburgh by 17. This shouldn't even be too hard. This thing should be. Let's go in, clean this thing up, make sure we tune right, and then we get an extra long weekend for playing on Thursday.
Look, I'm actually kind of surprised it's only a 3.5 point line here. That seems kind of light for what the Steelers have been doing versus what the Browns have been doing. The Browns are
Man,
also currently sitting at 2-8 in a real nice draft position.
man,
They're like, this is how you fumble the bag. You start trying to win games. Look, I'm not saying people throw in the towel. I'm just saying I don't usually bet the point spread, and I'll be laying 2.5 on this one every day of the week.
right. Especially if they want to put it like that, and that's crazy. Like you said, that it is even that close.
Yeah.
So yeah, you better take run and take Pittsburgh and that spread. Get you a nice little
8%
play.
of the public on Cleveland.
You said 8.
8.
Yeah, that's the only people in Cleveland and maybe surrounding areas.
Yeah, this is all. This is what they call the statistical uh, guarantees. This is supposed to be the week we just beat up on Vegas because these are all obvious wins here.
Hmm.
Next, let's kick off Sunday. Well, let's get into it. Kansas City Chiefs getting to play the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that this should be a slaughter. Uh, it should just be us fixing a lot of things that we need to work on. Maybe getting Isaiah Pacheco back in the mix. We'll see what happens there in that practice situation. I'm waiting for Charles Omeni, who still, I think once he gets back, that defensive line becomes real nasty. The rotation just gets that much better. So Kansas City, of course, by a country mile in this game. It should be, like I said, getting working out some kinks. Should be getting right.
Yeah, this is what do we usually call it, a better than a buy. This
Yeah,
does have an 11-point spread, which I would advise staying away from for whatever
right,
reason. The Chiefs hate covering the huge spreads. You give them a big old spread like this, and they almost never cover. Like
right.
just leave it alone. I know it's a minus 650, so there's not a lot of value here betting the Chiefs, but it just seems like an obvious Chiefs win for me.
Right, and you can player prop that Pat. Just take Pat at 1.5 or something from this game. He's throwing at least two touchdowns. Take a rushing prop on Kareem Hunt. He should be able to get at least over 60 yards on these kind of dudes. So, like I said, little stuff like that you might want to consider. But yeah, I wouldn't. What's the over right now? What the hell is the over?
11. Oh,
No, I said for the over.
point total
Yeah.
43.
Yeah, I don't know if it even gets that far. 'Cause I think if the
Yeah.
way if we play proper defense, they probably won't score. If they do, it'll be minimum, and then we probably won't score too much to even get that close. We probably end up like beating them 28-0 or something, or you know what I mean? Like who knows? Something weird, 24-7.
Yeah. I was thinking kind of like 21-9 is kind of where I'm seeing it at. Where they kick a
Hmm.
few field goals, we get a couple of touchdowns or a
Right,
few
still won't be
touchdowns.
enough. Right, you
Right.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, Andy
yeah,
Reid doesn't go out here and embarrass people, and that's the one of the problems with the 11-point spread. Unless you
right.
talk trash on him and hurt his, like make him want to beat you, like he's not going to come out here and just 40 ball you like the Lions have been. Everybody like they're like,
Right.
oh, these garbage, you guys are a garbage team. It's time for us to put up 45 points. Like we're doing it today. Like I understand, we have no business being on the gas pedal. And look, they've had a lot of good guys go down real late in games, and it makes you kind of wonder if that's a little football karma again to you, Dan Campbell. You got to be careful of such things. You start
Man,
embarrassing people, you start things happen. That's all I'm
things
saying.
do happen.
Well, voodoo.
You're not lying. Things do happen here. But you're right though, Andy Reid. I mean, unless you're Shanahan or like back in the day, Bill Belichick, it seemed like them be the only people he tried to really take it to. So I don't know. I don't know what's been said in outside meetings and stuff, but we're gonna see what happens. Like I said, we should win this one. It really should be like a tremendous victory. Like it shouldn't really be close at all. It should be almost like an Ohio State game. Like we should be winning. This should be like 45-7. In reality, they should cover the over, but I don't think they're just going to score that much because they don't have to.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Now we got another lopsided game. This is another one that seems clear cut dry. Titans versus the Texans in Houston.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely taking the Texans to win this game. They working on getting everything back on track. They got certain pieces back here. Love Tank being back. Everything else makes more sense with the offense now. They can move the ball in more different ways than they were able to previously, and they can get that offense back to kind of what it was at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is just another better than a buy. Some of the notable stat lines: 3% of the public betting Tennessee. That's the same amount as betting Carolina versus the Chiefs. Like this is all super lopsided Sunday. Like the schedule maker makes you wonder about this one because like
Man,
these are 8-point favorites for the Texans, 40 and a
which is
half on the
crazy. And
over
both of those
under.
places got inferior barbecue. D Hop says so herself. So I mean, you know, I just I don't know what's going on in they picking when they got these points going. Maybe it's a barbecue beef we don't know about. But yeah, it should anyway. We got the Texans by a country mile, and then some. Like
Yeah,
Uncle Rico
Texans
throwing the football over that mountain.
and another notable thing. Not only is the barbecue better, it was so good he had to call his mother. So that
Man,
just mic drop moment to me. I'm like
man,
the two walked out of the restaurant and said, "Mother, mother, dear
boy.
Lord." And that's just Gates. He ain't even like. I mean, Gates is good, you
Gates is
know.
the deal. You can't never go wrong with Ollie.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's
there
a
are plenty
classic.
more spots too that can make him lose his mind too. So
Oh,
you know.
he's in for a treat, bro. He's oof, oof. Next on the list, another bad place with barbecue. The Dallas Cowboys facing the Washington Commanders.
And that should be another walk in the park. Uh, Commanders definitely for me. Um, Probably about I like to say about 17 because in all reality everybody should be beating these dudes by as much, but I'll take them by 14 at the very least. Definitely going with the Commanders.
Well, it is a 10.5 point line. The
Yeah.
Cowboys could find themselves in the position if they lose out. They've only got 3 wins, and they could help you try to correct this ship. There's a lot of talk about eating that Dak Prescott contract, and let's be honest,
Mhm.
that hurts. It hurts bad. That's a rough one.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a tough situation to be in. And considering everything that's going on with the team in general, but like I said, I mean, this is more than just a Prescott problem, and I've been saying it for years. It's more than a Dak Prescott problem. The defense quits in most games. I think this is, like I said, it's a systemic issue. This is ownership, front office, coaching issue. Because in all reality, that roster, top to bottom, is one of the most talented you'll read about. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
when they get to the field, it's just a totally different story. So, uh, I've been saying it for years. They need to just blow the thing up, throw the dynamite in the front office. I said, you gotta listen to me. Washington did it. A couple other places did it that I said they need to do it. Y'all need to listen to me. Throw the dynamite. The Chargers just did it, and you see how they working. Their situations already working out better. Sometimes you just gotta throw that dynamite down in the front office and get some new blood in there to fix up the walls.
yeah, yeah. Because it ain't working. It's broke. Whatever you look on paper, it's a great team. I
Man,
expected great things out of the Cowboys. I was like, them boys might be all right because on paper, anybody
they
can win with a
before
team.
remember before the season started, but you know how they usually do their anointing. They were saying that Dallas should be the one coming into the Super Bowl. They even had them beat the Niners, all that jazz.
Yeah, yeah. It's what do you? I mean, I don't even know what you're supposed to do with these. Like, what are we? It's just trash. And you're right. It starts at the top. This is something that's just snowballed down the hill. And honestly, it started out as a big ball to begin with, just right there at
Man,
the top. You knew what the Cowboys need the most is a general manager that doesn't
exactly,
own the team. That's what they
exactly.
need.
That's what I'm saying. Top to bottom, starts with him. They almost need a new owner. He need to choose what he want to do. He's like, yeah, either you just gonna be straight up owner, and yeah, let somebody else handle these affairs, or man, you just need to step out the picture in general and let one of your kids take over.
Yeah, because my problem is you. Jerry, you've had enough rolls of the dice, right? That's
Man,
just what it is.
30 years worth. Like, it's more than
30.
enough.
Bro, you cannot go to a craps game and roll them dice 30 times and walk out a loser every time and keep going to the casino. You can't.
Man,
You'll need to call 1-800 bets off.
you're like, this the
That's my
one here.
advice for Jerry.
This the one here. Yeah, 1-800 bets off, man. Somebody get Jerry some help, man. Because he needs to let go. It's time to let somebody else take over and remind people that there's more than one football team in Texas because the Texans are the only thing worth talking about.
Oof, by a country mile, too. Well, you got to go long and far outside of Houston. What, you closest team that matters is Kansas City? What are
Man.
we talking about here?
Right.
What direction we got
Oh,
to go to
man.
find a winning football team outside of Houston? A
Man.
long way. 12
Man.
hours. You driving 12 hours to find winning football. Jerry,
Man.
you're getting passed up, bro. 12 hours.
Man.
Mm,
Good night.
mm. Yeah, well, we both got the Commanders in that one.
Oh, yeah.
This next one feels obvious. Buccaneers versus Giants.
It does, especially since the Giants have decided just to publicly pretty much display that they're going to tank this thing. They're benching my boy Vanilla Vic. They're going to start little Danny DeVito. They don't even want to let Drew Lock play. And I'm just like,
Oh,
yeah,
they're
if that's
starting
not the.
DeVito?
Yeah, they're starting DeVito. They're not even going to start Drew Lock. They said they're going to start DeVito. And Drew Lock,
Wow.
you can see Drew Lock in the interview. He's almost looking like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, that's pretty much what he really wanted to say. And he's just like, I don't know. He said, I guess I can just reflect on me and what I can do and what he can control. And, I thought I was here to be the number two. And, I mean, I guess technically he still is the number two, so they ain't lied to him. I mean, so that shit is just crazy, though. Like, so I'm pretty sure that we're in total tank mode in New York now because there's just no way that you bench a healthy Daniel Jones because the teammates didn't want him benched, and then they definitely didn't want DeVito playing. So this is the front office
Yeah.
doing this thing, and like I said, they had kind of the Giants had kind of straightened up the act with the right coach, but we're still seeing the same shades of ownership and GM mediocrity and stupidity when it comes to certain decisions. Like whoever does the scouting for the Giants needs to be fired because the best pick you've had in years is Malik Neighbors, and that's the only bit of help that Daniel Jones actually had. Saquon wasn't helped you enough. You need to fire your health staff, your training staff. You need to fire him. It's just so much I could get rid of, but this is total tank mode. So I don't know if they're tanking to try to think they're gonna get old boy from Florida, who's the boy named Cade something, or if they want to try to get Shador
Yeah.
Sanders, which I hope not. Because, like I said, I'm still not sold on him, and a lot of people be like, "Well, how you don't like Shador?" And I'm like, "Bro, because he don't look NFL ready to me. I understand he's a little bit accurate, but he makes wild throws and he takes too long to make decisions. Like I haven't seen him win enough to really say that he's ready to go and do something like that. So we'll see how that is. Hopefully, it's not a flash in the pan. Prove me wrong, but this is like Caleb Williams all over again to me. Uh, so we'll see what they do there. I would hope they would take to try to get a, a decent lineman and then maybe a decent second round pick to try to get the boy Alshon Gentry who played for Boise State because they need a running back and he is the running back of this class unless my boy Judkins come out. Uh, yeah, that's what you would want, but we'll see what the Giants do.
Yeah. And honestly, uh, Coach Jackson, prime time said, or Deion Sanders, coach said, I ain't just letting ain't letting my boy just go anywhere. He's got to play for a legitimate team. I just don't see him. allowing his kid to even go to New York. To be honest with you,
Please, you know they control Dion. All they gonna do is like, look, we're gonna throw him a couple of bags. He gonna be in one of the biggest markets. He's gonna be a star. He's gonna be blah 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 blah. And all his dad prom heard was star. Yeah, that's all we need. That's all I heard. He ain't worried about nothing else. He said
yeah,
eventually it's gonna
yeah,
try to segue into him getting a head coaching job in the NFL. Maybe he want to be the first father to coach his son. He gonna try to become the coach of whatever team he end up on.
yeah. I've heard that might be the possibility of the combination. And I just maybe that'll be what happens in Dallas. I read that that's what Dallas should do. Just go ahead and let Dion take over. But I think the only way Dion coaches for Jerry if Jerry lets him have complete control. I
Yeah, he
don't
got
I
the
don't see
GM too.
Jerry. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if Jerry's ready for that.
He better get ready because he ain't got that much time left. He better stop playing.
Speaking of not much time left and not playing, is we got the Patriots versus the Dolphins.
Oh yeah, and honestly, the Miami should win this game. I really don't even care because you're talking about a game that just absolutely does not matter in the landscape of where the NFL is heading, especially as far as the playoffs.
Yeah, the Finns are gonna win this game, so they make it all the way to 7-10. Like I've already looked at the schedule and seen it. It's a split. It's a split down the road, and like they're gonna have to once they start playing some of these legitimate teams that don't look like the Patriots, and even the Patriots don't feel like a cakewalk for this Dolphins team.
Right.
Let's be
I really
completely
want to pick
honest.
the Patriots to win. This is probably the upset of the week. Matter of fact, I'm on it. Upset alert.
Right?
I have officially changed my pick. I'm picking the Patriots over the fans. Let's do it.
Look, only 7% of the public is picking the Patriots. Look, I'm not saying the NFL's rigged, but if it is, like, there's so many of these games that are just obvious winners that it just won't work this way. That's not how this works. The
Nope.
page, and look, I'm a Dolphins supporter, right? Like, you always see me fence for the win, and I'm going to pick the Dolphins here just because everything tells me they should win. However, it does have upset written all over it, and it's almost better for the Dolphins if they do lose.
Man.
Speaking of getting out of contracts, you might want to be looking at what you're doing with Tua because you're going to fire the coach is gone. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well, you
And I
can't.
remember we was talking about that. I'm like, bro, the coach, he should be been beyond on the hot seat. So it's about wrap for that experiment.
To me, the only thing that saves his job is if in the background he's been yelling, "I need a different quarterback than Tua," and I don't think he has. He's not that kind of guy. He's the I'm going to
Mm-mm.
support my guy kind of guy, and
He's a
he should have been.
coordinator, and that's what he's a coordinator because he's losing that job. He's about to be a coordinator somewhere. Hell, matter of fact, we'll fire Matt Nagy. You can come be coordinator here, baby. We'll let you run the offense. Get you see what it's like to run some real weapons.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Let's jump into someone that's more important than this Patriots Dolphins game. We got old Jesse hopping in.
I told you, I said, I've been waiting for him. He's a Buffalo fan. So I
Oh, you're a
expect to hear
Buffalo
from
fan.
Jesse. Yeah, Josh Allen in Buffalo. He's been on him for years. He says this every time we lose to him in the regular season. So it's usual, Jesse. He's a Buffalo fan, and that's just what it is. And a lot of people told me that this week, Jesse. So I appreciate you being like the fifth or sixth person to say it. But we talked about it on the show last week. So yeah, definitely. And shout out to you, man, sticking with the Bills and staying strong. But you know what happens when we see them in the playoffs, so maybe we'll get you to come around back then.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, sometimes I get history wrong. You know, might be a little history buff, but isn't Buffalo one of those franchises that just ain't never even won nothing? You know, big old
Yeah.
goose egg.
This is the
That's
Super Bowl. That's why it's the most
that's
hyped event. It's like the All Star game in the NBA. They need a game that will absolutely shake the entire foundation of the NFL. That way, they have something to talk about for the next week here that actually feels more along with what they want to do with their story. It's more organic for them. So I told you, I don't know what you're talking about, man. All I know is that you always talk about the Bills winning, and that's neither here nor there. Everybody watches the show; they know what time it is, man. You got the
right.
Bills, I got the Chiefs. That's it's what it is.
It's all right. Ain't nothing wrong with that, Jesse. I ain't gonna judge.
Yeah,
We'll judge free zone. But speaking of judge free zone, we got another blowout next on the list. Lions versus Colts.
man. You think the Lions about to get blew out?
Nah. Nah, you got that. That would be kind of nice right now. I'd take that. Look, and I'm a Lions. I've been the Captain Lions supporter. I claimed the title before any of these mainstream media people even dreamed to see it coming.
Right.
And, you know, just a little humbleness would be nice if the Colts could pull it off. They are the type of team to just mess around and win this game. That
Mm-hmm.
being said, the Lions have been so proficient on offense. There's no way I can't pick the Lions.
Also true. All right, what's the spread on this one?
7.5.
Oh, so
Same as
they're leaving the light on for the Colts then.
that's what they had for the Dolphins versus the Patriots as well, by the way.
Well, that's a division game. That would make sense though.
Well, being a
Uh,
little closer. Yeah.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Lions here, but I wouldn't mind throwing the Colts on a little little underdog parlay. I would throw them on there because they're just like we always say, they're scrapping. They're one of them teams who could do it. Joe Flacco might be able to go out there and outshoot Jared Goff. Who knows?
Yeah. And well, I think they're back on Anthony
Or
Richardson now.
Richardson back. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, man, who knows then? Well, it's too much conflicts there. Never mind. That's not even a safe bet. They don't have any stability. I'm going with the
Yeah.
Lions. Just the Lions only.
Yeah. It's just because the Lions have been in that kind of juggernaut mode. Next obvious matchup, we have the Vikings versus the Bears.
Oh yeah, and I'm definitely taking the Vikings in this one.
Yeah,
And what's the spread on that one?
3.5, which is kind of light.
Oh, definitely. I'll take the spread. Let's do that. That's how we do that.
Take a old line and take that 2.5.
Yep.
You don't want a field goal to mess you up. You don't let no stupid little field goal thing. I always when they do that 3.5 points, I'm like, four ain't a real score in the NFL. We
Right.
need to talk about. I give you 2.5 points. I got to win by two or more. Look, we if I win by three, like you're done. You're done. This is game over.
Yeah, Vikings should win this game, and it shouldn't be close because the Bears are trash. So proving
Yeah.
everything like what I thought. Back to reality.
Ooh, here goes another interesting one. Little AFC West showdown.
Uh,
Broncos will find themselves at 6-5, looking at maybe possibly sneaking into the playoffs. Crazy
I
to
was
say out loud. I
I
don't
told
see
you.
that happening.
Now, hold on, we got to have a sidebar. And this is what I was trying to tell you a few weeks ago. And I saw a little thing said the playoffs started today picture. We would have, I told you, three teams from the AFC West: Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs. And it would be like that right now if it starts. Because I told you, Cincinnati has no goddamn chance. Nobody else in the South has a chance, but the Texans, and then the two from the North, Pittsburgh and Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah,
I
because the
love it.
Browns ain't doing nothing. There's nothing
No,
in the East. Yeah,
I might have to go ahead
You-
and make that a bet too. I'm gonna have to go ahead and bet that on MGM because I'm Nostradamus. I'm telling you.
yeah, yeah. Especially if they let you parlay that too. I'd parlay the whole AFC West in that, well, except for this trash Raiders team. Who,
Right.
look, congratulations, you're in the spot to do something. You guys had your interim head coach Anthony Pierce thrown. Look what you gave him. This is what is his one chance of being a coach, and this is the cards he's dealt. Sucks to be pooped on like that, but at least you got to live the dream for a year and a
Yeah.
half.
Right. He got what he needed. Goodbye. That whole, but we talking about another situation, another franchise where they need to throw some more dynamite down in that front office. They need to blow that whole team up in general. It is time to reset the Raiders.
Well, they do got old Tommy B now, so he's in the ownership group. Maybe you convince him to do something.
Look, man, even if I got to go fucking suit up myself, we're gonna get this thing right.
No, you're not.
Oh God. He about to do the
Ravens.
Michael Jordan. He said, "I'm the first player, owner, coach." And coach. I'm the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, and the owner.
And you still managed to lose, Raiders. And you still managed to
Man,
lose. Ooh, this is going to be what they got the game of the week. We finally get a little decent split here with a 60-40 split. So we're getting a little closer to uncertainty in the betting market here. That's going to
okay.
be the Cardinals versus Seahawks. And the
Yeah.
Cardinals are 1 point favorites on the road.
Oh, that means I'm taking SC Hawks money line. Yeah, I'm taking the Hawks money line because the Hawks are gonna win, baby.
Really?
Yeah, they're gonna beat
Huh.
the Cardinals. What do you mean, really? Didn't they? Well, you see who they beat last week, didn't you?
Yeah.
All
Last
right. Yeah, yeah, a better team.
was a better team.
So they about to do the same thing to these Cardinals.
Is it a better
Gino,
team though?
Gino ain't
Is
gonna
it?
write back. Gino, look, Gino ain't gonna write back on you, and me and Gino still riding tough. They said they gonna be in the NFC Championship game versus Green Bay. They gotta right some wrongs.
I don't know. Anytime these Cardinals have been dogs, anytime people start down these Cardinals and make them these dogs betting line, the point spread says 1%, but only 38% of the public believes in the Cardinals. And just, I think I'm going Cardinals in this one. Look, you may say they're a better team, but that's on like paper, maybe. Like maybe if you
Ain't,
look at
ain't on
the
paper.
roster preseason, you'll call the 49ers a better team. But if you look at the records, that's all I'm saying. If you look at who is winning the NFC West, you might want to get to looking.
Yeah, we lost the cards. We been on that, but they about to lose to the Seahawks now.
Hmm. I don't know this. They managed to pull this game off and go 7-4. And if for some reason the 49ers lose to Green Bay this week, like,
Which they will. Yeah,
which they
whatever.
probably, right? Like, let's be honest, favored to win that game in Green Bay, by the way, just to add a little cherry top onto that one. And,
Hmm.
mm, that just, it sets them up to put a nice little 2 game
Yeah, it
gap
just
in between. It's really a 3 game. It puts the Cardinals
it's
in the position. I might pick the Cardinals to win the NFC West.
it just sounds like it's getting ready to propel the Seahawks to where they need to go. All those cars fall in the right place.
Mm. We're
Oh,
gonna
did
have to
I
see
say
something.
cards? Did I
Look,
say those cards fall in the right place?
I see what you. You know I'm a little slow sometimes, but we spill it out enough. I get it. I catch on. Hot diggity darn. Here we go. We got another little cornball fest here. We got the 49ers going to the Packers. Uh, Packers only 2 point favorites at home. But let's not forget here. This is now mid-November, late November, 2/3 through the month, and it's cold in Green Bay. It is not the Bay Area weather by any stretch of the
Mm,
imagination.
it sure ain't. And this ain't your grandma's football game. This thing is coming at you live and in charge and in direction. This thing belongs to the Packers,
Ooh, dear Lord.
the
Ooh,
eventual representative of the NFC in the Super Bowl.
mm, mm.
Green
I just
Bay.
looked at the weather in Green Bay. I just messed up and looked at the weather in Green Bay.
What the
Ooh,
scandals ain't.
Lord. It's currently 35 degrees, so
Good
literally
night.
freezing. Sunday, the high is 45 degrees, saying the low is 38. So once the game starts kicking off, it's just going to get colder and colder.
Oh, looks like we lost you there for a second. But I think he's alluding to what he's saying is that this is going to be a cold game, and pretty much that can guarantee win for the Pack. Like I said, they're going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. It's their time here, and this will just be another notch, on the belt, so to speak, on their way out there. We'll try to give Mr. KC a second to come back here. He's got the computer tonight running through the schedule here. Fortunately, mine broke, but I'm working on getting another one here. But focusing on, he was saying that they were only favored by a little bit. I would still take the spread on the Packers here. I would almost add it with that Commanders pick and probably added with the Chiefs player props here if you're looking to put a little action on. Gamble responsibly, of course, and only in your own areas where it's legal. Um, but yeah, the Packers should win this game wholeheartedly, and so that would be a leg that I wouldn't mind putting on there, especially if it's going to be freezing.
Yeah, yeah. But go, Pack, go. That's all I can say against the 49ers. And that's nothing against the 49ers. It's just I feel like the Packers should win this game.
Right.
Sunday night football. We got a little Eagles versus Rams. This is a good football game, too.
This is a good football game. I think this one's going to come down to a battle of coaching. And I think I'm going to go with the Rams here, as I feel like they have the superior head coach.
Yeah, this is gonna be my upset of the week because I'm also picking the Rams over the Eagles. The Rams are 3 point dogs at home, so the Vegas is really suggesting the Eagles win by 6. 90% of the public is betting Philly. Look, Philly's got a great team. They really have an underrated team in the NFC. No one is talking about their playoff potential and maybe even a Super Bowl run. Like I haven't heard anyone say no Chiefs Eagles matchup. Like we might be seeing another repeat, and they're in that
Very
position.
well
But
could be.
the Rams can go toe to toe with anybody. And at a home West Coast game, I like that too, especially being at night. Look, let's not forget this game kicks off at 8:20 Eastern time. Like this is early in the day for the Rams, and this
Right,
is a late night game for the Eagles.
right. They're going to be like, boy, I be getting in the bed about this time. Well, this time we're going to turn up. They mind in a whole nother place. They going to go down there and get towed down. So let's go, Rams. Pick up a much needed win to help fortify your playoff opportunities.
Yeah, because the Rams really need it too. They're currently sitting 5-5. Look, the NFC West is a tight bunch. We might even see a wild card team come out of there. I wouldn't be
Maybe.
surprised. Yeah, but you got to be careful because you already got two coming out of the NFC North. But I
Yeah.
don't. NFC East is probably bringing two too. You know, so
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see.
Yep. I agree.
All right, Monday Night Football, the last game of the week. Kind of a closer game than I think most people are expecting. We have the Ravens versus the Chargers.
Hmm. Ravens Chargers. This is actually kind of a hard one to pick here. Uh, this would be what the first Brother Bowl in since their last one in the Super Bowl or something like that. We
Yeah,
got both Harbaughs going up against each other. Uh, one has a clearly better team, but one can clearly coach his team better because they're winning games and they're winning them convincingly. A few of them too. And they got your old running back who you thought couldn't do nothing with, and J.K. Dobbins, the Ohio State University, is doing his thing down there. So honestly, this is probably the only time I ever do it. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I like the
ooh,
Chargers in this game.
you got a little
I,
upset potential there. Look, that one's only got 17% of the public. Look, we know some of this. It cannot be this lopsided this week. Vegas would not stand for it. Like
yeah,
this is not how things work. But I'm still
right,
going Ravens over the Chargers. I picked all the obvious winners. That's the round I'm going, I guess. We do have one commenter that said the NFC North is the best in football. I don't think so. I
yeah. I
don't think
disagree.
so. I would say the AFC North probably has a better argument for that. And some people might even start talking about the AFC West somehow.
I'm already gonna say the AFC was if we didn't have just such a large gap disparity as far as what the record is, the Broncos and the Chargers any Sunday lineup look like it can beat almost any team. So if we're talking about toughness and grit and that kind of thing, yeah, we got to consider all of those factors. But I would heavily lean toward the north of AFC though, as the primary leader at that point though.
Yeah, because I mean, look, the Broncos should be winning this week. That's going to put them at 7-5. It's like every win that I thought they would win this year
Right.
already. And you still got another 5 games to go for them
Man.
where they can still do something. I need them to lose out for my prediction to be correct at this point. You know,
Right.
I don't know if that's happening. As much as I want to be a hater,
Man.
I absolutely hate the Broncos, but they're in a correct position, and the Chargers are too.
Right. So,
So
like I
let's
said,
we almost we almost need to run over the playoff picture real quick.
okay, I'll go ahead and run it down for you again if I got to. So, the number one seed, well, you want me to do it that way too?
Let's hit it. We'll just list the teams. Let's just list the
Okay.
teams.
Well, that's easy. Kansas City, Texans, Steelers, it's gonna have to be Buffalo. As much as I don't know how big that Josh Allen skid I was talking about earlier would be, but Miami has no chance of catching up. So it's gonna be Buffalo. After that, here we're gonna have the Ravens, and then we're gonna have more than likely Broncos, Chargers, like I was thinking.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. There's no other AFC teams that are really competing for that position. There's no outside looking in my opinion.
Yeah, because I told the Bengals missed the playoff 2 years in a row, which has been the prediction I've been standing on. I'm gonna keep standing on. The Raiders have absolutely no chance of making the playoffs. Neither does the Jags, the Titans, or the Colts at this point. Honestly,
Yeah, it's the one team that you would think on paper has a chance is the Bengals, and their record would argue there's not a snowball's chance in God's green earth. Look, they would basically need to win the rest of the 5 games, and the Broncos or the Chargers lose the next five. And you need
right,
both of that combination. It's not either or, it's and. Like that's a big
right,
and. You ask me
right.
for it. All
So
right, so let's hit the NFC real quick. What are we looking at? The East is probably going to be the Eagles or the Commanders
I was
at
gonna
this
say I'm
point.
gonna go with the Commanders, man. I think the Commanders are gonna keep roaring. And well, hold on, did they already play the Eagles once? Did they've already had their first matchup?
Um, I
I
don't
can't
remember
remember.
actually.
I can't remember who they've. Who did the
I'm
Eagles
typing
lose
it
to?
into the old
Yeah,
Google web.
to the old Google.
Uh, they did. Yeah, this last week. Duh.
Oh yeah,
Duh.
I'm tripping.
Yeah. Duh.
Duh,
Jeez,
Jordan.
that's how you
Yeah,
know we're starting to get old. We can't even remember it
man,
was
they're
just last
doing too
week.
much football. But yeah, so I like
Yeah.
the Commanders. Yeah, yeah. So I'll stay on that train. Um, of course, I got the Packers, and then after that, Atlanta should win the South,
Right.
and I don't know. This was kind of a toss up too.
I think I've got it. I think I've got it. Hear me out. I think we're getting the Eagles and Commanders. I think we're getting the Atlanta Falcons. I think we're getting the Packers and the Lions. And I think we're getting um, the Cardinals and Seattle.
I'm just trying. Yeah, I'm trying to decide who's going to win that division. That's why I'm like.
Cardinals Rams. Cardinals Rams.
No, I like the Seahawks though, because I got them thoroughly in the playoffs. I think
Well,
the
I
Cardinals.
I
Huh?
just remembered I absolutely hate this. I said I just remembered I absolutely hate the Seattle Seahawks.
I
So
know.
we had a
I know.
supplement.
I
Let
know.
me let me let me get back to my heart from my head. I was speaking from my head
Yeah,
at first. My heart tells me it's gonna be the Rams.
it's
They
gonna
got
be
a yeah.
Seattle. I like Seattle. Yeah. So who you got in your wild card spots there?
I think the wild card spots are gonna be Commanders, Seahawks, Rams. Excuse me,
You know it's the
Packers.
Hawks, man, but they're gonna win the division. But I feel you.
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
you don't want them there, but you, even your soul and your bodies keep trying to tell you it's the Seahawks.
Right. Actually, you know what? I think I want to slide. I think I'm going to take the Seahawks and the Rams out of it. I'm taking them both out. Sliding the
Mm.
Vikings in.
Ooh,
I think we get three from the North.
three from the north.
Three from the AFC West, three from the North.
You know what? That honestly could happen. I'm just, I don't know, man. I've been expecting a skid from Minnesota to happen sometime soon. So, well, that the NFC is so weak. Well, not weak, but the
It
positions are
is.
so malleable that it's hard to really see who we're gonna put where. But I, the Vikings might not make it, but they might because, like I said, I'm looking at the Rams. I'm looking at the Seahawks too, or even the Cardinals could still even be in the mix if they can just keep it together. So, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the Vikings are currently sitting at 8-2. Like they can mess around and win the division even. Like they're right there in
Yeah,
it.
because
They could, and
I
I
was gonna
think they
say
have a
because
cupcake schedule.
who's after the who's got the next best record?
I'm pulling it up
Only
right
Green
now.
Bay then. So I think they
Yeah,
they got still got one more loss than they do. I think.
yeah. What are we looking at? Cardinals next. They could lose that one. Falcons, maybe, but I feel good about them. Then they get that cupcake with the Bears. Tough one with the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
Hmm.
And the Packers to finish the season in
Oh
Minnesota.
yeah, it's a wrap. They're
Uh,
not making it.
well,
I'm taking
they
the
got the
Vikings
Bears
out.
twice.
I'm taking
They
them
beat
out.
the Bears twice. That's 2 wins. They beat the
I think the
Falcons.
Bears will beat them one of them times.
Nah, not the Bears. They're
They gonna
trash.
have to. They gonna have to solidify their Caleb situation. Make them feel better about it. You got to win a division game.
Mm. No, I think they finished the season 11-6. I think the last 2 games of the year are rough on them. The Seahawks game and the Packers game. They might go into the playoffs losing, but I feel strong about them at about 11-6. They might even go 12-5. To be honest with you.
Oh, well, yeah, we just feel different about that. So, yeah, we'll have to see. We will have to see.
I mean, they've got some tough matchups there, but it's not crazy. It's not crazy. But yeah, sitting at 8-2, I like their odds better. I think they're, if we look at the playoff picture right now, I think they're in it right now. And
Oh, yeah, for
te-
sure. They're there right now.
the Seahawks, 49ers, and Rams are all on the outside looking in.
Yeah, that's why the Seahawks got to go on this run.
Yeah,
Uh,
I need the Bucks to go on a little bit of a run. They're sitting at 4-6, which just isn't doing it for me. They'll get they'll pick one up this week, so get back on the road to 500 at least.
yeah, we'll see. Because Atlanta looks like they need to go ahead and step up as well so they can close out the South. Stop messing around.
Yeah, Atlanta could, not teams don't all need a win, but they could use a win next week. That's for sure.
They need it. They all need it. They need everyone.
And then some. They might even need a little give me a win kind of situation.
Man. Well, we'll see
Yeah,
on
I think
that
that's
end.
all. I think that's the picks for the week and a little playoff picture, a little bonus there for you folks.
Oh, yeah. And think about it. Run us your AFC and NFC picks, man. Tell us who you think is going to be. And if you agree with us or not, always like and comment, leave it in the comments, let us know because we respond to the comments.
Yes, sir.
But, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. As tradition, that's Mr. KC. I'm that dude with the beard. We're going to catch you next time.
Go Chiefs.